So these are just underperforming losers that are getting massive amounts of support from other underperforming losers, just being entitled brats.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Alright, we have a crazy video to take a look at today, man, because this has to be the most smug fanboy I have ever seen in my 2 years doing this fanboy type content. Today we have a Nintendo fanboy who decided to upload a YouTube video defending the Switch 2's price by saying we're all brats for complaining about it, and that he's happy that we cannot afford it. It is more pathetic than you could possibly ever imagine. But we're not going to waste any time on an intro, let's hop straight into this.
Everything about the Nintendo Switch 2 is fair, except for that tech demo game. I cannot defend that, that is unacceptable, but $450 for the console, or $500 for the launch bundle? I know millennials and zoomers have become excessively entitled from being terminally online and just crying about everything all day.
Yeah, and most of those millennials and zoomers are being raised in a world that is extremely unaffordable. Most people today will never ever be able to afford to own a house. Things are more expensive than ever, the price of living is skyrocketing and wages are staying relatively the same, and they'd simply like to be able to afford to enjoy their favorite escapism hobby of video games, but even that they're being priced out of. Maybe that's why they're upset. This guy is such a clueless asshole.
But really? Not understanding how money works now? Because adjusted for inflation, people were paying over $100 for Nintendo 64 games in the 90s.
Yeah, you mean back when you'd buy a video game and you would actually own it? You mean back when you didn't have to pay for online on games you already bought? You mean back when you could support a house off of a single income? You mean back when life was affordable for most people? You mean back when games costed more to make because of the physical cartridges? You mean back when gaming was more niche so they weren't guaranteed as many sales? You mean back when game development was harder? You mean back when microtransactions and DLC didn't exist? You mean back when there was massive graphical leaps between consoles? You mean back then?
And objectively, the games are better now.
If that's the case, why do I see so many people claiming the opposite, claiming that games were better back in the day? Just because the worlds are bigger or the graphics are nicer doesn't mean the game's better. If you ask me, Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 are two of the greatest games ever created, and they blow Odyssey out of the fucking water.
It's actually incredible they've been around $60 for as long as they've been. We have features we couldn't even imagine back in the 90s, like seamless online connectivity or open world capabilities on the console.
Yeah, that's how technology works. I'm glad you realized that. Newer technology can do newer things. Microsoft and Sony's consoles can also do these things, but I don't see them charging $80 for games.
And the games are relatively cheaper now. And the Nintendo Switch 2 is finally a console that is competitive with other consoles. That the Nintendo Switch launched underpowered in 2017, and then people complained about the graphics and performance of the games. So now we have a console that can handle higher fidelity, larger games, and people are complaining.
Yes, because they did not need to price it at $450, and how do I know this? They priced the Japanese version at $350, and region locked it so that people in America don't buy the Japanese version and just switch the language. If that isn't greed, I don't know what the fuck is. But me and a lot of other people's issue isn't really with the price of the console itself. Yeah, it's pricey. But our problem is with the price of games, which we're about to get to, because he has an absolutely retarded defense for it.
The power of the Nintendo Switch 2 means we get games that were impossible to have on the Nintendo Switch, so the price increase only makes sense and is only fair. That this is your Mario Kart experience. Also, people forgot about DLC. People are paying $90 for Pokemon with DLC, or the DLC pack for Mario Kart 8, where now we just have more in one game for cheaper total.
How do we know that these games are not going to have DLC if they're priced at $80? And let's just say that's true. They don't put DLC in their games and they're $80. That's still a higher barrier to entry. That's still going to price people out of the hobby that would have otherwise just bought the base game without the DLC because they couldn't afford it. Or maybe they just didn't want to buy the DLC. Stop acting like this is a good thing.
Oh yeah, also Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that had DLC. So a 2017 game, even with the inflation and then the DLC, that experience is $100. So yeah, inflation's gone up about 30%. So the game price is going up 30% with the new generation of consoles that are stronger and going to give us objectively better games. That's just fair.
There is no way that this guy is defending Breath of the Wild costing $100, even if it's with its DLC, in 2025. Dude, this would be like if the Wii came out and they put Super Mario 64 on Virtual Console with a DLC for the price of a new video game. It's literally the exact same thing. Well, not literally, but you get what I mean. And you know damn well these Nintendo games never get any sales either, which just makes the whole situation a lot worse because there's no just wait for a sale argument that can be used. Like with Space Marine 2, that was a new game that I bought in 2024, back around, I think it was September it came out. A few months ago, that went on sale for like 30-something% off. As long as you're somewhat patient with new releases, you can get sales, but not Nintendo's games. Nope, Nintendo needs to charge you an arm and a fucking leg for last-gen games at this point. Like, goddamn man, remember when we got Player's Choice? They would take games from the generation they were currently on and put them on sale for like 20 bucks? Those days are long gone.
What is there to complain about? How is anyone boycotting Nintendo? And this is actually why I'm making the video, because I started seeing these videos in my YouTube. I'm like, wait, really? People are this upset? There's this many brats out there?
What's that? You don't want to spend an arm and a leg for a Nintendo console and a pile of shit economy? What are you, a brat? You spoiled, entitled child? Just fork over your money to Nintendo, bro. I mean, damn, bro, could this guy be any more out of touch? It's insane. I hope Nintendo's at least paying you for this shit, dude, because it's pathetic.
And also, it kind of shows that the complaints, Nintendo should not listen to them at all. Don't worry, I'm too broke to buy anything. So these are just underperforming losers that are getting massive amounts of support from other underperforming losers, just being entitled brats.
What's that? You don't want to give Nintendo an insane amount of money for a video game when cheaper alternatives exist? You contribute nothing to society. You are worthless. Well, at least according to this Nintendo fanboy. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I didn't think you could lick the boots any harder of Nintendo, but here we are. But the saddest part about all of this is this guy who made this video defending Nintendo is 31 years old! We got a 31-year-old man on the internet putting his life on the line for Nintendo. And what does he get in return for it? Nothing. Like, bro, I don't think you have any right to talk about where anyone else is in life right now.
These are not consumers that you actually pay attention to.
Ignoring what the fans actually think is the reason why so many AAA studios are getting shut down these days, but sure man, that's exactly what they should do. They should ignore the people complaining that they either don't want to or can't buy the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm sure that'll work out great.
And I think Nintendo understands that. Easiest boycott ever. I can't even dish out that money anyways. So even if, let's say, the Nintendo Switch 2 was like $400 and the games were $60 or still $70, well that means like after one or two games, they don't have the money, so they can't further support the product. So whatever they were going to be able to contribute is capped anyways, and it's just not worth it for the overall profit and also just the price margins of having the offerings where it is.
How dare you? How fucking dare you not buy all of Nintendo's games and only buy a few? Your support doesn't matter. Like, okay, DSP. Most of the time, I don't even get mad when I'm responding to people, but this guy's legitimately pissing me off.
Wow. 700,000 views and like a 10% like ratio. The capture of brats has actually been insane and one of my biggest struggles with being a content creator, because I'm not going to pander to entitlement and these losers just crying about everything and also just refusing to accept reality.
Yeah, you know what, we're done. I can't do it anymore. You know, this full video, I could have made this like a 30-minute video if I wanted to, but like it's legitimately, like I'm gonna break something. I'm gonna break something. I can't watch this, man. This is legitimately making me angry. I'm just gonna have to end it, man. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't suffer through this one.